Hello. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to merge the cell phone template with a blank third-person project. It's almost the same concept for merging it into any third-person project. So first thing you're going to want to do is open up your third-person project or just your other project that you've got, and open up the cell phone project. Right-click the main folder, and we're going to migrate it. Select your content folder of the project you're trying to merge the cell phone with. And now we can go ahead and close down the cell phone project. And we've got it here in our new project. So first thing we're going to do is open up the cell phone folder, open blueprints, open character, and open the BP cell phone character. Now let's go to our third person project and find our character here, and let's open it up. So in the third person project, go ahead and just erase all of the inputs here. Okay, first thing we're going to want to do is grab the phone mesh from it's attached to the mesh in the BP cell phone character. Right click and copy. Go to your third person character, right click your mesh and paste it. Make sure that it attaches to your mesh. If it does not, just click and drag it onto your mesh and it will attach. And now let's make sure the location is correct. First thing you need to do is attach it to the right hand. So after it's attached to your mesh, go to the parent socket here and find hand_R. You'll see the location's a bit off. So now go to your cell phone character. With the phone mesh selected, right click the location here and copy. You can copy the entire location just by clicking on the name. Go back to the third person character, right click and paste. Now we're going to do the same for the rotation. And now let's do the same for the spotlight and the screen capture. Actually, we could take all three of these at once. Spotlight, cell phone camera, or screen capture, phone camera, and screen plane. Make sure all three get attached to your mesh. And let's check the location and rotation on each one of them. It's not in the same order, but that doesn't matter. Just make sure you're pasting the location and rotations onto the correct meshes here, or correct objects. Oh, and also these need to be attached to the phone mesh, not to the character mesh, my bad. go. Oops. So I just pasted that on the wrong one. I'm going to go ahead and fix that real quick. Screen capture, screen capture. Make sure you double check and make sure you paste them to the correct mesh here. Okay, now we've got all of our locations correct on that. In the update I'm working on, I'm adding rotation to the upper body, so when you're in the camera you can actually rotate the body up and down when you're moving the camera. And I did realize that I left visibility on the screen plane. It's simple to fix it, you just uncheck visibility here with the screen plane selected. Because you want that to start not visible. You don't want to see the screen plane in the player's hand. Okay, now we're going to take the camera boom phone and the phone camera and copy these as well. And they do not need to be attached to anything. It looks like they already came in the right location and rotation for us. Okay, so now that we've got all of that over, let's compile and save. Let's go back to our BP cell phone character, go into our event graph, and let's move over this macro really quickly. So all we have to do here is just copy the code here besides the input and output. And in the new character, just create a new macro. We'll name this phone use delay. And paste our code here. Create a pin in the input and in the output. And from the duration pin here, go ahead and connect that into the input and make sure you add hidden to node. And that's all we need there. Now let's highlight all four of these collapsed graphs and copy them. And we're going to paste them in our third person character. Now we're going to go ahead and go into each of these graphs and right click, create variable on all of the variables that are not created. In here, the create WB start widget and add to viewport, those are just to pop up the little text at the beginning that says press C to open the phone. You can just erase these if you don't want them there. I'm going to just leave them there for now. And this just sets the input mode to game only so that you don't have to click the screen when you're beginning to play. And these here just it double checks and makes sure that you start with the follow camera active and not with the phone camera active. If you have the events here with a error on them, go ahead and just right click and refresh nodes. So let's now let's start with the phone hand location here, and let's copy the default value for the phone hand location, and let's paste it on the phone hand location variable in the new character. And let's do the same now for the phone hand rotation. The map height we want to start at 1000 by default. Okay, now if you open up all of the collapsed sections over here, we don't need to move anything from the my character or the components. Hold Control and drag these out here to get them. You're going to want to get all of the variables from the saved notes and the Wi-Fi section. And let's also get the player's name. The Game of Luck coins. That's just the currency amount that's used for the little game there. If you have your own currency already set up, of course you want to just ignore this, and instead you connect your currency with the Game of Luck. If anybody needs me to do that, I'd be happy to make a tutorial for it, or just go ahead and help you myself. Okay, so that should be all we need there. Now that you've got all those dragged out there, save note 1, save note 2, in Wi-Fi zone, Wi-Fi signal strength, Wi-Fi network name, player's name, and Game of Luck coins. Go ahead and copy all of them, and we're going to just paste them in your third person character, and create variable for each one. Now it's a bit messy here with all the variables there, so if you want to, you can go ahead and create the sections there, just like they are over here, and I'll show you how to do that just in case. Let's start by selecting the save note. That would go in the, I guess there's a save note section that I made, just in case you have more than that. Because I only made 2 of them, you could set it up for many different slots if you want. You may only need 1, and you can just hit enter, shift enter to go down to another line. So if you select the save note here, in the category, in the details panel, you can go ahead and just highlight default and type saved notes, and that will place it into a new category here. Then you can grab your save note 2 and just drag it into the category. Now we'll do same thing for the phone variables here. I'll call this phone values. In the CellPhone character, I had a separate section for the Wi-Fi stuff, but we're just going to go ahead and place it in the phone values. You can organize them however you want to, really. We'll leave the game of luck coins out there. There we go, so that looks a bit cleaner now. And we can go ahead and erase these, because we don't use them directly from the player character. They're referenced from other blueprints. We do want to quickly make sure that our default values are good. These should be blank. That should start as false. So the player's name, you're going to want to set to whatever you want your player's name to be. When you're calling the AI, I've shown how to set up how they will actually use the player's name in their sentences. You won't have to type the specific name. You can have them just call the name from the player. And we will just call this CellPhone Dude. And now we can go ahead and erase these out of our graph, compile and save. And we're going to close out both of our characters now. And open up the sources panel here on the left hand side. Right click your content folder, fix up redirectors and folder, and there's none to fix up, so that's okay. And save all. And we're going to open up our cell phone blueprints character, and we're going to try to delete our BP cell phone character. Make sure you do not force delete it. You want to replace references with your new character, which in this case is going to be the third person character. And replace references. And it may give us an error here. Let's see. Yep. So if the error message pops up, go ahead and just hit the X on all three of them. And we're going to save anyway. And close and reopen the project. And now we're going to just delete the BP cell phone character again. And replace references again. And this time it should work properly. There we go. Save selected. Save all. Now let's test it out real quick. Alright, so it gave us an error in one of our blueprints. Let's go ahead and check it out real fast. Okay, it's saying it can't find the cell phone camera location. I'm not sure why, so let's just get it again. So I think I just named these wrong. So it looks like I actually messed up here. There was 2 more variables that we were supposed to move over that I did not notice for some reason. But it's not a problem. All we need to do is duplicate our phone hand location. We're going to name this phone camera location. Do the same for the phone hand rotation. Phone camera rotation. With a capital C on camera. And you can just open up another project for the cell phone and copy the values over. But that's interesting. We're just going to type them in here just in case you don't want to do that. So on the phone camera location, for the Z value, it will be negative 12.728998. And for the Y, 5.283017. And the Z will be negative 0.432031. Okay, that fixed that odd issue there. And for the phone camera rotation, X will be 246.406647. For the Y value on the phone camera rotation, we want 26.047445. And the Z value will be negative 186.633163. Also, on the Wi-Fi signal strength, we're going to start this off saying not connected, since the player starts not connected. And if you spawn in a Wi-Fi zone, it'll automatically change that on begin play. The Wi-Fi network name, that will actually be changed depending on what the Wi-Fi box is set to, the router. So you can leave it blank or just type in something to remind yourself, like Wi-Fi name. Okay, let's compile and save now. And let's move our 2 new variables. Oh, they already placed it in our phone values. Perfect. So now we can go back to our main menu and compile. It should have added those for us, but for some reason now it's giving us all kinds of errors. So let's go to the top left file, and we're going to refresh all nodes. Uh-oh. I don't know why I did that. It was that third-person character. That's great. Okay, so we're going to start by reconnecting this one here. Refresh it. So all of these should plug right back in. Nope, they don't. Okay, so we're just going to have to get these variables again. Make sure you set this from object to your new character. There we go, now they will plug in. Okay, let's try to drag this one over, see if it connects them all for us. Just hold Control. When those all light up, go ahead and just drag them. Perfect. So that made it a little easier for us. And do the same thing here. Just hold Control, drag it over. And we might have to do that in a few more of the blueprints. Let's check. So if we try to hit play, Okay, didn't give us any errors. Alright, our phone came up, but you might have noticed that we did not play the animation. So what we need to do now, go into our cell phone animations. Oh, my bad. Mannequin animation, ABP cell phone character. Now, in the update that I'm currently working on for the camera, I'm adding upper body rotation with a modify bone transform. And we add a little bit right here just to modify the rotation, which can be copied over to any old project very easily. And also a few modify bone slots in here, which can also be copied right over. So what we want to do here is go ahead and copy all of this. Now if you already have your animation graph set up, all you need to do is make sure that you have a full body slot. If not, go ahead and add the full body slot. Or, my bad, you need to make sure that you have the upper body slot. So just copy the layer, blend per bone, and the upper body. Duplicate your default state machine, or instead of doing that, you can just have the one state machine. Save cache pose. I'll probably change this in the update because this is the more proper way to do it. And we'll name the cached pose default pose. And now we can just call the default pose cached pose and use it twice. So we're just going to copy this all over since we're going to a blank third person character. Let's open up the character's animation blueprint. You can find it in the folders, or you can just open the third person character, select the mesh, find the anim class here, and search for it in the content browser, and it will take us right to it. Otherwise, it's just in the mannequin folder, animation, third person beauty, anim beauty. Okay, so we've got a new issue here. The reason why this is popping up like this is because it can't play our animations. They're on a different skeleton. But they're the same animations anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just go into our cell phone character. And we don't need the skeleton for our cell phone character any longer. So let's go to mannequin, animation, nope, character, mesh, and find the UE4 mannequin skeleton. Make sure it's the one that came with the cell phone pack that we're erasing. And you're going to want to replace references with your Unreal Engine skeleton. This one here for our third person character. And that will allow our new skeleton to use all of our animations. Save selected. So now let's try to open our animation blueprint again. I don't know what I'm doing there. There we go. Now he's playing. You could also just switch the third person character's anim class to our cell phone animation blueprint. But if you're merging this with an already far along project where you've already got stuff in your animation blueprint, you wouldn't really want to do that. So that's why I'm showing just in case how to just move the stuff over. And you really just need to make sure you have an upper body slot, since most of the animations use the upper body slot. Okay. Let's test that. There we go. Okay, so right now I have no Wi-Fi because we don't have a Wi-Fi router in the scene. We'll test that out next. Okay, we're going to need to place the map capture inside of our map also. Need to add new music to this eventually. I've got a better plan for the music screen also. I might be adding that in the next update as well. Which any new widgets that I add to it will be really easy to add to projects that are already far along, as you really just need to move the widget over and plug it in. It's really simple, and I'll have videos for all of them. Oof, I don't have any coins. You can get stuck playing this thing pretty easily, so be careful. Oh, bonus round. If you get 3 wilds, it starts the bonus round and it replaces all of one of the symbols with wilds. If you get 4 wilds, it replaces 2 other symbols with wilds. If you get 3 wilds, it replaces 3 of them. 4 or above will replace all of them, and you'll get a full screen of wilds. So in the update I'm working on, you won't be able to turn this way while you're in the front camera mode. Your player will turn with the camera, and you'll also be able to look up and down. The arms will actually move up and down. And I'm working on making it so that you can take pictures and save them into the gallery. So it shouldn't be too long before I get that done. Alright, so it looks like we've got everything working. Let's just check out the Wi-Fi box and add the map capture real quick. So in the cell phone character, let's find blueprints, miscellaneous, and we got our Wi-Fi box here. So let's just place it up here. And we're going to change the network name to test network. We're also going to go into blueprints, characters, AI, and we're going to place our mannequin man and mannequin woman over here, just so they can be in our map. Let's open up our scene captures folder. We're going to place our scene capture, GPS capture. And it shouldn't matter where that is. I believe I've got it set to where it automatically places itself once you open up the map. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it out again. And now if we open up our GPS, our camera is turned the wrong way. So I think the only thing we need to do is actually just turn it 90 degrees. So on the y-axis, I want to just turn that negative 90 degrees actually. Let's check it. There we go. So I made it zoom out quite a lot just in case the map's a bit bigger. And it does follow the player, so it will center the map where the player is. And let's check if we're connected to Wi-Fi now. Yes, we are, so now we can use our little mannequin meter out here. If we go into settings, network, we're connected, signal strength is strong, and the Wi-Fi we're connected to is test network. That's what we named our Wi-Fi router. If you walk away from the router, you'll notice that your signal should get weaker. It goes from strong to medium to weak, and then it should disconnect shortly after. We can get far enough away. There we go. And now we can't use our Wi-Fi apps. Alright, let's try calling one of the NPCs real quick. There was a small glitch in the phone that I noticed. This thing is collapsing down when it doesn't need to. I'm gonna have that fixed. And also, if you go back and open your phone again, it erases one number. I'll have that fixed in the next update also. It's a really simple fix. Hey, it's me, CellPhone Dude. So that's where it grabs the player's name and uses whatever name you've assigned to the player. I'm going to go ahead and tell him that my phone is a piece of garbage and I'm going to throw it at the ground. And sometimes the phone hits the ground at a weird angle and it just like flies across the map. Sometimes it'll actually hit the ground and just bounce around a little bit and stay there. After you throw it at the ground, you can actually pull your phone back up, and it should be broken. Yep. Now our phone's all cracked because we decided to throw it at the ground. So he asked us about our phone. We can tell him that we kept it, but we cracked it. I was thinking about maybe making an NPC that can fix your phone and also sell you new phones for like the outside of it. You can buy cases and stuff like that. I wasn't sure if that would be something people would be interested or not, so I'll probably end up asking in Discord, see if enough people want me to work on that. So I just realized I was trying to check to see if he would come over here, but he's got an issue there. He can't get to us because the nav mesh, there is no nav mesh in this scene yet. But if you had placed the nav mesh, he would actually run to you and say, hey, what's up? Alright, so I think we've got it all merged in here now. So next I will be doing one on adding it into a first person template. I haven't done it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty easy to do.